Good day, Chief here for Chief Tells Tales. Today I got a strange story. It's about my near-death experience that I was not conscious for. I reported to Fort Stewart, and I had a master sergeant who was in charge of the section. About 2 days after reporting to the unit and getting all my paperwork done, he looks at me and he goes, "You're my least experienced person. I'm sending you to NTC in 2 weeks." Fantastic. I'm trying to set up my household. Boris is meowing downstairs. So I'm going to go with a captain and a 4-man GSR, ground surveillance radar team, who we're going to NTC, National Training Center in California. Once we get there, we kind of just, when we start the war or the exercise, we just turn them loose. They get assigned to some unit, and then they report to that unit. They don't do any reporting to us. We're teaming up with a warrant officer who brings a platoon, a collection platoon. I don't know what devices they brought. I didn't get a tour of them. I was a little disappointed. But the warrant officer said he knew me. And I've only been, at that time, 4 assignments. And he says, "Yeah, you and I were old buddies from, or not buddies, but I know you from Berlin." And I'm like, "Well, what section did you work?" Because he's my MOS, and basically the few of us that were there all worked the same mission. But he said he knew me. I didn't know him. I don't remember him. So we team up with them when we go out to the field, and we team up with the warrant officer and his platoon sergeant, and his rest of his unit are in their vehicles being deployed where they're needed to be. When I became a single parent, I went from a heavy sleeper to a light sleeper, because as a single parent, or as a parent, some parents, you listen to your children when they sleep at night. Boris, don't knock over my light. Plus, I became a fussy sleeper. So if I'm in a new locale, I have a hard time sleeping. And of course now this is my second tactical assignment, going to the field. But this one's not so bad. Instead of a generator going all the time, we had to run the Humvee all the time to keep the radios functioning. So after 2 or 3 days, I don't remember how many days it was, I wasn't sleeping very good. I told my captain, and she just laughed at me. She goes, "Well, for one, it keeps telling me that you don't sleep. When you do sleep, you do sleep." And I said, "Well, I'm exhausted out here, and that's why I'm sleeping so good, but I don't sleep long." I said, "I toss and turn most of the night." Well, we parked near a fork in the road, so to speak. We set up our antenna, because everywhere we go we had to set up an antenna so the chief could talk to his vehicles. So finally the captain looks at me. She goes, "You keep telling me you don't sleep, so go prove me wrong. Take some time, go outside and sleep." So I grab a cot, set up a cot, and we had put engineer tape on our guide ropes, the 3 guide ropes to the antenna. Like I said, we're near a fork, but we're not on the fork, but we're near the fork. So I set up a cot between the antenna ropes, guide ropes, and the Humvee. I sleep really good. I don't know how many hours I slept. But when I finally woke up, the captain, she just really chuckled at me. She goes, "For one that keeps telling me you don't sleep, you almost died last night." I go, "Say what?" She goes, "I want you to go back outside and look what's on the tail end of your cot and tell me what you see." So I go back outside, and there was a glow stick that I didn't put there. So I come back inside and I said, okay, there's a glow stick out there. What's the big deal? She says, you almost got run over last night. I go, excuse me? The story is, supposedly I was sleeping. Like I said, we're near a fork of the road. And they said that the three of them were up and talking, and all of a sudden heard a very loud vehicle. They didn't tell me if it was a truck or a track, so I don't know what slammed or was going to run over me. And she said they all went outside and stopped this vehicle before it ran over the antenna and me. And she says, you slept through all that? You don't remember us coming outside yelling and screaming at this truck? Because she said the truck, I think she said it was a truck. It wasn't very loud. Whatever the vehicle was, it wasn't very quiet. I said, no, ma'am. I said I was exhausted, and that's probably why I slept so deep. And she just chuckled at that. And she goes, well, you need to stop telling me you don't sleep. Because while we were in the box, as they called the sleeping area prior to going to the field at NTC, I wasn't sleeping very good because we're sleeping on the ground or sleeping on a cot. I mean, I had a tent to myself. I don't even remember taking a tent, but I had a tent to myself. Or no, I set up I don't know. I don't remember. It's so long ago. I just thought about this the other day when I was thinking about what to talk about, and I'm like, oh, got to tell them about my near-death experience that I wasn't conscious for. So, and here's the other strange part of this story is the warrant officer was staying awake too long himself. So we moved from that location and we moved to another spot, and we were going to be there for like 2 days because they were resetting the battleground, resetting the battle, so everybody stayed in place where they were at. And the captain and the platoon sergeant told the warrant officer, you need to get some sleep. I can't remember if he slept for 16 or 19 hours straight. I have never in my life slept that long, no matter how exhausted I have been. The most I think I've ever slept in my life was 10 hours. So it was just kind of weird that he slept that long. And he didn't look any better. I mean, he was worn out because he was staying awake too much. He was always on the radio. His platoon had a problem at one of the site. They lost part of one of their pieces of equipment, and they spent the greater share of the afternoon crisscrossing up and down in the immediate area, and they could not find this part that they supposedly lost. So he was a little worried about that. So that's what exhausted him. But like I said, he didn't look any better after he slept 16, 19 hours. But it's just so weird that I did sleep that deep. I mean, what can I say? Guess I shouldn't wear a black shirt. I'm kind of blending in with the curtains here, and the blackness of the chair looks like disembodied head and disembodied arms coming across. Oh, Chief, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just rambling. But what's really strange also is when I became a warrant officer, my first duty assignment, I became the safety officer. And one of our students, while we were doing the course, well, I think it was a 2-week course or a 1 week, he got pulled out of class one day because he had to go fill out a safety violation or something like that. And spent the night out there. He almost got ran over. he found a place by himself, and in the middle of the night, a tracked vehicle started to roll up on the bottom of his mattress. Thank goodness the ground was soft. It was pushing him into the ground and was almost ready to get on his backside when finally somebody was like banging on the track vehicle saying, "You're running over somebody." So he came back, and because somebody else had to go out and fill out that safety violation of trying to run over your safety NCOIC or NCO. So that was a bizarre. I mean, he showed up in class and we're all like clap, 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 cheer, 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 because I mean, he was only gone for like a couple days, but I think it was a 2-week course now, and almost gets killed becoming a safety officer or safety NCO. Other than that, I don't recall any other near-death experiences, even when I went to war, except for, well, not really near death, but just near a little bit of a panic. I don't know if I mentioned this before. I was out with my assistant driver. We were scouting out this greenhouse area, and I heard a hollow sound underneath my foot, like in the clear and present danger. So I think I've already talked about this. And I told Rodney, go around, see what I'm standing on, and he basically said I was on a big bunker. And we almost went inside, but it was shaped, the entrance was like that, so you had to go this way to get inside, and no lights. And I said, no thank you. Closest I came to being stupid and didn't know if anybody was in the back side of that place. Never went back. We didn't care, even though we got flashlights later. I just said, no, not gonna risk it. Not wanting to be stupid in the middle of the war. Hopefully I can remember something else to talk about next week. I know I've been rambling part of this, but short subject, but freedom's not free. This is Chief. Veterans Day's a couple months. You know what to do to a vet. Chief out.